Okay, so the MILC team is going to do a little demonstration about skin to skin in the OR. It is kind of a challenge sometimes for some of us to do skin to skin in the OR, but we're really trying to promote it and to make sure that all of our patients have the opportunity to have skin to skin in the OR. It is a patient satisfier. It is a benefit to breastfeeding. It helps us with our breastfeeding scores, especially working night shift. Many of our C-sections are not planned, so the patient has already missed out on what the delivery maybe that they thought they were getting, and if they don't get that skin to skin, that's just one more thing in their experience that was taken from them. So doing skin to skin in the OR can literally change their experience from a negative to a positive. So I want to let you know that skin to skin is for healthy, stable newborns and an awake mom. If a mom has to be put to sleep for the surgery, or if she's very, very nauseous and she's puking in the bed, it's not a very good time for skin to skin, unfortunately. But the good news is 80 to 90% of the time, that's not a true statistic, that's my own statistic, skin to skin is absolutely and completely appropriate. Once the baby has been born, has been taken to the warmer, dried off a little bit, stimulated, maybe has some bands on, a diaper on, possibly at least a 1-minute Apgars and a hat. If the baby is stable and mom is awake, we can bring the baby over to mom for some skin to skin time. The traditional ways, or that I initially was trying to do skin to skin in the OR, were barriers to keeping this from happening, because if you try to, the drape is here and you don't want to mess it up too much, but if you try to put the baby in, like this, which is kind of where the baby usually goes after a vaginal delivery, the baby often rolls down into mom's neck. The baby's face is sometimes hard to, the neck is kinked, it can impede the breathing, or you can't see secretions. So this is a challenge for skin to skin in the OR. So the way, and I don't even know if like other people do this, but if you take your baby, and there's usually, obviously we're not in an OR bed, the OR bed is a little more narrow than this bed. However, there's usually, there's a room for a pillow, so there's this much room on each side of the mom's head. And if you take your baby and sit the baby's bottom on the pillow next to the mom's face, and then put the baby's arm up over the mom's chest and lean the baby on the mom's chest, you put a blanket around the baby, the mom can bring her hand here, and the dad sits here with his hand on the baby, and the baby is completely supported by the pillow, supported by the mom can see the baby's face, the baby's head is resting here, the baby is upright, can clear secretions, can cry, can look around. And I did this last week for 25 minutes, and the baby was alert, happy. The anesthesia even commented, "Wow, this is great." The dad can see the baby. It makes for great pictures. I'm just saying. The mom can see the baby, and it's really easy. You can see that in this position, we do not affect the drape. We don't get in the way of anything that's going on the surgical side of the drape. Another thing that I didn't mention because I felt like it should have been obvious is that you unsnap mom's gown, obviously, and lay the baby directly on her skin. Cover the baby with a blanket so that it doesn't get cold, and put a hat on the baby. If you remain in the OR for longer than 30 minutes, which is not in this position, which is not obvious, you can do vital signs easily here with baby on mom's chest. You can even do medications if you're going to be in the OR for that long. But the baby can stay here for the duration of the OR. There's no need to take the baby from mom and go to the recovery room to wait for her, especially if that's not what she wants. If she's tired or nauseous, or she says, you know, go ahead and take the baby, that's one thing. But if she is happy and baby is happy and dad is happy, like they can stay here the entire time and everybody can roll into the recovery room together. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bonus footage, a little PACU football position in PACU. The PACU gurneys, of course, are smaller than our regular beds, and the side rails are very close, but it is still possible to feed baby. One of my favorite positions is the football position. So we're gonna lay this baby right here for a second. And when you come to mom, I like to help her sit up. Usually you will need 2 nurses for this because she is quite numb in the PACU. So I have the patient grab my elbow and grab another nurse. Come on in. Grab another nurse by the elbow because she is very numb. So we are stabilizing her on both sides, sitting her forward. 2 pillows stacked on top of each other, straight up and down. And then she can lean back into them. The straight up and down is important because it supports her back, but it also gives room for her elbow as she's maneuvering for breastfeeding and room for the baby's legs. Then sometimes in the PACU, you will only need 1 pillow next to mom because it's such close quarters. In your regular postpartum beds, I most often do 2 pillows. But in this position, she's still a little more reclined than maybe she normally would be for breastfeeding, but she's propped forward. She has plenty of room. I have her raise her arm like she's asking a question in class, and you bring the baby straight up to her, all the way on its side, ear, shoulder, and hip in a straight line. 1 arm down, 1 arm up like the baby is hugging the mom, and you can do this position in the recovery room.
I'm gonna come around her.
Okay. And compliment the mother on holding her baby's neck.